Hi, everyone. My name is Daniel. I'm a market development associate here at Wisetack. My colleague Iris and I are super excited to have some panelists here today joining us. As you guys know, we're a consumer financing company focusing on serving industries such as HVAC, and we wanted to use this as an opportunity to serve the broader community even further by bringing in a couple of successful businesses within this sector to share some of the best practices that they have, and hopefully it's useful to the community. So if everyone can give a quick introduction about who you are, where you're located, how long have you been in business, how many employees you have, that'd be great. And perhaps we can start off with Shane over here.
Hey everybody, I'm Shane Hero. I'm the owner of On Time Heating and Cooling. We're located in Waukesha, Wisconsin. Smaller company. I have about 4 employees. And we've been in business for about like 2.5 years now. So it's a little bit about me.
Hi, everybody. I'm Kim Clayton. I'm the CFO of Green Addicts. We're located in Dallas, Texas. We've been in business for about 14 years, and we've got 10 employees.
My name's Monica. I am one of the owners here at Cool City Air Conditioning. We're located really within the LA area, and Cool City has been in business for a little bit over 3 years, but my business partner has been doing HVAC for 35 years.
So I'm Patrick Cullip. I own Atlas Heating and Air in Augusta, Georgia. We've been in business going on our 9th year, and we have 15 employees.
My name's Iris. I lead up marketing and partnerships here at Wisetack. I've probably spoken with at least half of you a handful of times, so thanks all for joining.
Well, the first question that I wanted to ask you guys to kick things off is, what's the craziest thing that you guys have seen while working? You guys are all in HVAC. You guys all have successful businesses. You guys have all done a bunch of jobs. I'm sure you guys have seen quite a lot of things out there. So,
well, this is kind of recently, but we have a client who's just very wealthy. He has several homes in the Beverly Hills area. So a beach house in Malibu, just property everywhere. And so we've been servicing for him for over a year, and I've never, ever met him before. But he lives off of Beverly Drive, which is like the coveted street in Beverly Hills to live on. And houses there range from like 20 million and above. And we went there. The house is immaculate. It has like this amazing artwork, like millions and millions of dollars in there. But when we went down underneath the home, because that was where all the ducting was, there was probably like 100 rats nesting underneath the home.
Wow, that is a lot of rats. What happens in that situation, actually, if there's like, what would you guys do?
Well, we were like, okay, first of all, we're not going to go down there. So we were like, you need to get somebody out. So we had another company that we work with that does like vermin. So he took care of all of that. We sanitized everything, and then we could actually like get to work down there. But I think my technician, like, it scared him half to death, because you actually have to go like underneath the home. And he goes, that was the most disgusting thing he's ever done.
Wow.
And he's been doing it for like 25 years.
We had a home this morning. It's a parent beam home. They actually wanted us to come in and see what they could do underneath the parent beam home to do a spray foam closed cell. And when my guy got out there, he realized that there was 6 feet of water, and the customer had no clue that the water was there, but come to find out, they actually wanted to take care of the work themselves with a handyman. Walk away real quick from that house.
I was gonna guess when we got started with this question that some of you might have some really interesting DIY stories.
Oh yeah, we have someone who wants to close in their basement, and he's asking me to give him a quote on mini splits on how we were going to do it, and then asked me if he could record the whole thing. I said no.
You guys all run a successful business. What has led to that success?
I can say for us, with COVID hitting on March 20th, over a year ago, we had to really think outside the box. As we all know, a lot of companies went under, but we were able to think quickly outside the box where we did virtual appointments. So we offer now virtual appointments as well as in-person estimates. And I think that has really helped us to stay in business and to gain the trust with the community that we are mindful of COVID. So luckily we're still in business and we're going strong.
Has anyone else also pushed on the digital front as well as a result of COVID?
I have, and we were actually one of the first ones in our area to do virtual estimates. Like she said earlier, the biggest thing that we did was just marketing that, you know, we are following CDC guidelines, posting on Facebook, Google My Business, just letting customers know that we're still around, we're here, and we're being safe. That was the most important thing. We care about our safety and your safety. So that was one of the big things that we advertised a lot actually when COVID hit. Especially mostly digital though, mostly like social media stuff. So
we've been doing the virtual estimates as well, and it has really kind of gave us that extra push for, especially for residential customers, because we do both commercial and residential. So when COVID hit, I reached out to all of our commercial customers and I was like, look, if you guys want to stay in business, you guys have to keep your employees safe. So we started offering, ventilation, proper, so basically the way that I put what HVAC is, it's the lungs of your building. So once I started kind of saying that to people and people understood how we were getting sick from COVID, it really kind of struck a nerve with people. I think virtual estimates are kind of the way to still go in the future, just because it's so much easier. And then also you don't have like somebody walking through your home.
I think the biggest thing that led to the success of my business was Facebook. Facebook is such a huge front runner when it comes to marketing digitally. Everybody's on Facebook. The way that I do it too, I don't even use paid ads. I actually post in all the neighborhood groups. So I'd say like the past 4 to 5 months, I haven't spent a dime on Facebook, and we've gotten probably like 60% of our customers come from Facebook. So I think the biggest thing that, like I said, that led to me gaining customers and my company succeeding was just creating good posts, taking pictures of our jobs, posting them, showing off our work, showing people what we do, how we do it. And I know you said it doesn't have to be COVID related, but that is a big, huge thing right now. So just showing people that we're being safe, and like I said, the biggest thing is just caring about other safety, so. And reviews too. Reviews are such a big thing nowadays. Oh my God, having good reviews and showing off your reviews too. You may get your reviews, but showing them off is a whole nother thing. Showing people like, hey, our reviews are there for everyone to see. Check them out. I actually just made a post about that like a week and a half ago, and we had probably, I think it was like 3,000 impressions on that post. So it's just really cool to get people to visit the My Business page and get people to go on your Facebook, go on your website, create traffic. That's the number one goal, is to create traffic digitally, so.
I think Facebook, it just really depends on the market that you're in, because we have 2 locations, and I noticed the one in LA, Facebook doesn't work, but the one in Palm Springs works. So you really have to look at your demographic of who's using Facebook and who's using what, because Facebook is great if you're in that market area where that demographic uses Facebook, because in Palm Springs, it's a much older, a mature crowd, let's say. But versus in LA, most people aren't looking on Facebook to spend, $12,000 on something. So, but one thing that I will say is that the reviews they're the money makers. I can't say that enough. And especially one thing that I like to do personally is that sometimes we have customers that send us like actual thank you cards, like a handwritten note. And, that's so rare nowadays. But so I'll like post things like that of, little things like that. And then one thing that I do is I have cookies made with our logo. And if you spend X amount of dollars, I'll send you a basket of cookies. And people post that and they just tag us on it. And so that's been one of the really good things that I find, because if you spend $40 worth of cookies, you get one job that totally pays for it.
What has your business done to increase sales?
So we don't, we market right now for September, October, November. We're in our plan for that. So instead of getting to the slow season and figuring it out, we start figuring it out now. And then we start buying that now because some of our advertisers are slow and they'd rather sell to us now for a better price than sell it to us in November.
I think for us, the Google reviews have been really huge. Word of mouth has been very large. And what we also do is in 45 days, when our jobs are complete, we go out for quality assurance, and where we're really pushing them to either give us the Google review if they haven't already done so, and give us the contact of 5 of their nearest relatives or neighbors where we can go and give them an estimate.
Have you guys tried, it's called Nearby Now?
I know about that. Nearby Now. Yeah. That's a good program.
It's a great program it's called a heat signature. So every time your techs are in an area, just before they show up to the house, they plug in here for HVAC repair. It puts a tack on the map where they're at, and then they put in the phone number of the person. It sends them a text asking them for their review. And so when you're Googling something local, even though your office is on one side of the town or in one town, it now puts you in that town as well because those tags appear there. And it's not that expensive. Maybe something you might want to look into.
Yeah, the other thing that I know about is the geotagging on your Google My Business pictures. That's a huge thing. It's hard to do though. You actually have to, you can either learn about it or have somebody who does SEO do it for you. But it's similar to Nearby Now. I use Nearby Now for a little bit, and then I started doing the geotagging for my business, Google My Business, and that definitely helps out a lot though. Getting the tags all over the map is super important for sure.
I'm curious, how do you guys make sure that the whole organization offers good customer service and make sure that there is customer satisfaction with the customers that you guys are serving? I think it's really important in your industry. So it'd be awesome to hear some examples of how that's done and how you guys bake that into your business.
For us personally, I actually do have somebody here at the office who just handles basic customer service. So every day when she comes in, she's either following up with customers, making sure everything's okay, or basically having her as the single point of contact if there are any concerns or anything like that. So I feel like that way when customers call, they're only speaking to one person, and that way they're not being passed around from, the technician to me to somebody else or whatever the case is. And I think it builds rapport with the customers, especially because HVAC is such a big ticket item that it helps them feel a little more comfortable with spending, that type of money.
So our invoices are tied to a questionnaire after they're done to their satisfaction, and Nearby Now kind of follows that behind it. So that's how we check or have a dipstick into what's going on and how the customers are feeling. And then my number is personally on there. You know, if you didn't like this or something happened, call me directly. And that solved a lot of reviews from hitting Google that I didn't want to hit there, because we have a chance to fix it before it gets out of hand.
Yeah. So one thing that I do, and I kind of harp on my guys about it, unfortunately, is I made up a couple sheets, 10 steps to the perfect service call, 10 steps to the perfect installation, and 10 steps to the perfect, phone call, for my dispatcher. I actually, we're moving soon, but I actually have some boards made up that we have posted in our conference room. So it's kind of like a reminder, and we go over it quite a bit. And then having a lot of points of contact too. Kind of like Patrick had with, the personal number, like, hey, call me if you have any issues. I have something very similar where I have a second emergency line that's directed just to me. It's transferred to me at all times. So stuff like that. And then the points of contact are super important. Like I was saying earlier, we have, the on my way text, we put on there, hey, our technician is going to be wearing a mask. It will be down before he enters the home, just so you can see their face, stuff like that. You get the picture of the technician. After you guys are all finished up, we have the Google review actually right on the finished text. We send them an email a day later, making sure they have no questions. And then we send them another email 2 days later saying, like, hey, if you really liked our service, please give us a review. So that's worked for us.
I'm curious, was there anything else you didn't mention that was on the board that you have for your team to look at, or is there anything else you could share from that?
Yeah. Well, the most important thing to me, and my dad actually harped on me for this kind of stuff, is just, preparing ahead of time, smell good, look good, clear head, making sure that, because we're called on-time heating and cooling, so we kind of have to be on time. So, clicking on my way, half hour away. We don't ring doorbells, we knock on the door, and just listening. Listening is the most important thing when you go to somebody's house, especially it's any home service, really. Walking into the door, listening to what they have going on, having empathy all the time, being emotional. It sucks being a technician. Like I'm, before I owned this business, I was a technician, and I didn't realize how much the emotion that you show to people matters. I was more of a straightforward kind of guy, like straight to the thermostat. Let's see what's happening. I want to get this fixed, go to my next one, get today over. But now that I'm an owner, I just want my guys to care, like, hey, what's happening? Let me know. What can we do here today? These are your options, so.
Curious if anyone else has any points that are, more about how you train and develop your employees, which, I think pay dividends in other ways, even if it's not necessarily like, a moneymaker or a huge, revenue driver. Like what I hear all the time is that hiring and retaining great people is a huge challenge in this space. So I'm curious if anyone has any ideas about that.
One of the things that we do here is we always, we pay for our technicians to continue their education. And especially here in Southern California, we're Title 24 compliant. Things are always changing, because what you get here has to be more energy effective than, anywhere else. So even from Southern California to Northern California, Southern California has the higher, like SEER rating, what we can put in, efficiency, ultra low NOx, So our equipment has been changing, the motors, the OEMs, So whatever free training that like SoCal Edison offers, we always take. We always send our technicians to. So that's one of the things that we do, because I think the technicians actually kind of like that they're still learning about stuff. And then I honestly, the real big thing about, I think, retention, keeping of good technicians, and especially like people who know what they're doing, can diagnose, things like that, is really, I mean, pay is a big thing. So we pay them to go to class, even, if it's a 3-hour class, we pay them the extra 3 hours or the overtime or whatever is needed. One of the things that I do offer is I do, because technicians go there and they diagnose, so if they make the sale, I do give them a 5% commission at the end of every month.
How do you guys typically manage customer expectations around the cost of a job? My understanding is a lot of the times these home services are seen as an unexpected expense. So I'd be curious to learn a little bit more about how you guys position yourselves to manage some of the customers when they're going through this. So
We actually, we always just let our customers know right away that we're not the cheapest, but feel free to call the cheaper company and then call us when they've screwed up. So we basically, we take our customers, customer by customer. So we do carryover. And whatever the consultant goes out to say is what the office staff is saying. So that way we're all giving each other the same verbiage. And then we're also having the staff as well as the consultant follow up with the customer.
what do you guys think about Wisetack? Has it benefited your business? It's curious to see where your guys' thoughts are so far. Oh, Shane has his finger up.
It's so streamlined. I love it so much. That was the biggest thing that I wanted to do when I opened my business, was make everything as smooth as possible. Then Wisetack came along and I was like, heck yeah, dude, this is awesome. I message Iris all the time whenever something pops up, just to let her know. So your guys' customer service is fantastic.
Customer service is fantastic. Iris, you're great about following up. And when a job hasn't been financed, you're following up to say, where are we at with that? So way to go. Keep it up.
I like the fact that you guys are now offering it over a longer span of time. Because again, when you're selling like a $10,000 job or something like that, it, when you can present like, hey, you can finance it for $200 a month versus writing me out a check for $10,000 in 3 days when I'm done, it makes it, I think, a lot easier, because HVAC is obviously, a bigger ticket item versus like, maybe like a plumber at a couple $100 or something like that. So I do, that was one thing I think that was hard for us to sell, because otherwise when we were selling it on the 24 months or whatever, it was like a $600-700 payment every month, which was, kind of hard for people.
Yeah, Wisetack has been a really easy tool for us to use. Wisetack, I love it because the customer is actually in charge of what they're clicking, and we don't have to have any of their personal information. Like I had a customer yesterday and their credit was, it was okay. And I pushed them over to Wisetack and they said, great, we got approved. So they were able to add in the extra things that they weren't sure they could afford. So Wisetack, I think, is a great tool.
Thank you, everyone, so much for your time. We really appreciate it.
Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.